Hello, I'm Sudarshana Starshine Star. How are all of you doing on this beautiful Wednesday, May 14th, 2025? I hope this finds you all doing very, very well indeed. Truly, I begin all of my clips with the three opening prayers, which are short. They're in Sanskrit and Telugu, and it's the Guru Mantra, the Ganesha Mantra, and the Gayatri Mantra. And I do this to bless, uplift, protect, and purify you, me, and this clip. Om, 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 Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshvaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahmam, Tasmahi Sri Guruve Namaha. Om Suklam Bharataram Vishnu Sishivarnam Chatubhujam Prasanavaranam Dhyaye Sarva Vignopashante Om Bhurbuva Suvaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhako Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yonaha Prachotayat. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Fantastic. All right. So I have a YouTube channel called It's the Dazzling of the Light, or you can just go to YouTube and type in at Sudarshana Starshine Star. I'm closing in on 200 clips. I can't believe it. I always do pretty juicy content, and it's on a variety of topics. So check it out if you feel like it. I think it's interesting. I think you might like it. And please remember to like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, thumbs up this, all that good stuff. Thank you for doing that. I appreciate you. I'm going back a little bit. Recently on my YouTube clips, I've been quoting someone that I really like so much. He calls himself General Sherman. But as I've said, perhaps you've listened to the last two clips I put on my YouTube, but if not, he is a gentleman who acts like he's just someplace out in farm country, someplace in the United States of America, just doing these clips and just giving his opinion on things, whatever. But he's not, he's got some connections. He doesn't claim that. I just feel it. I see it. And from what he says, it resonates with me and also with my deep independent research and just certain tells. I just have to say he's got something going on there. But he's very to the point. I find him so funny and amusing, even though, he curses so much. Yes, and he does it in a charming way, but whenever I quote someone, I have to, quote them exactly, but I just won't say his F-bombs. I'll just call them, Fs or whatever, but it does I can't help it. It makes me laugh how much he curses. It's pretty funny. Here is, let's see. I am looking. Okay, so I had to go back a little bit, and you'll see why after I read this quote, because I have some things to say. And I'm past the point of really wanting to convince anyone. It's so fruitless. All I can do, it's like that really, what is that old saying? You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. It's so true. But I just like to provide certain things, and everything I do, it's really, I like to inspire people to do their own independent research. Don't just, believe what I say. I like it when you do your research and uncover things for yourself, and then that's believing. Then you're like, oh, okay, I get it. Here we go. So this is something General Sherman put out. It was on May 8th, 2025. Okay, here we go. And you'll see why I'm reading this to you afterwards, after I say some things. Good news coming out of the White House today. You remember last week when Mike Waltz was removed as Trump's national security advisor, and then they made him the ambassador to the UN. I have to interject here. I feel like laughing. Yeah. Anything to do with the United Nations. I mean, no, that satanic mess is being cleaned out, and it will never be the satanic, ridiculous New World Order stronghold that it was. Even if it retains its name, it's not going to be doing its old evil function. So making him the ambassador, that makes me laugh. Anyway, let's go back to the reading. But nobody really said why. Yeah, well, they said why today. Mike Waltz, and that's spelled W-A-L-Z, I believe, was holding secret meetings with Benjamin Netanyahu, trying to push the United States into war with Iran. Yeah, you sneaky F-U-C-K. They effing caught you. It's America first, not Israel first. And I've had my concerns, and this is big because of that exact reason. If they're moving him over because he's holding secret meetings with Netanyahu, like, that's great. Because Netanyahu is the effing ultimate warmonger for the U.S. If you've ever wondered, like, why in the F we've been blowing up countries in the Middle East for the last 20 years, Benjamin Netanyahu. Did you know who convinced America that Saddam Hussein had weapons of mass destruction in Iraq? That was Benjamin Netanyahu. Yeah. He stood up on the floor of Congress and lied to everybody and said, oh yeah, you got to go unalive effing Saddam Hussein. He's got weapons of mass destruction. Go blow him up. Every single one of the Middle East wars was at the behest of Israel. Nothing else. Nothing else. That is the sole motivation. And now we got Marco Rubio still to keep an eye on, because Marco Rubio has taken over $1 million from AIPAC. So, Marco, best effing be putting America first. Not your effing, oh, I can't say what I want to say there, but yeah, don't do it, Marco. Don't effing do it. These are good days. These are good days. This is bigger than you think, because this means America is first, and we are not going to go to war with Iran. Good luck to you all. Keep noticing things. Long live this beautiful republic. Now, why I went back to say that is because it's really, I mean, now after the fantastic Saudi Arabian U.S. summit that President Trump just had, and he's still in the Middle East doing wonders right now, it's pretty clear, and it really makes me laugh, that, you have to play 5D chess and beyond to be involved in cleaning out the satanic mess and the dark, truly hideous corruption and evil and murderous intent and activities and thieving activities and everything else that what I call the controllers that have been able to ostensibly rule this earth realm for 26,000 years. And you can go to my YouTube channel and see my series called The Controllers or The Real and find out more about these bloodlines and different things that I've talked about. But I just dug up, I was just looking at some photos, and, Benjamin Netanyahu is what is called the 3.0. Let me just clarify this a little bit. You might hear some patriots and what are called truthers talking about 1.0s, 2.0s. 1.0 means the original person. A 2.0 means a replacement. It means, on the terms of the evils, what they use clones. But the white hats, the good guys, they use hyperskin face masks and voice box technology. And the evils have been known to use that as well. But their first choice is always a clone, and then they just, control that clone. And if you don't know about cloning, I've spoken about it again on my YouTube. There are different types of clones. Maybe I have to do another clip about that, going into more detail. This is just foundational knowledge for anyone to have to understand what's really going on the world stage right now. You can't refute the overwhelming use of clones and the deep underground cloning factories, and that this technology has been around for a very long time. Yeah, a very long time. I don't want to veer off on that topic, but it's not a far out subject. It's really true. All right, and Benjamin Netanyahu is a 3.0. I saw last year the funniest picture. I was like, I'd seen it before, but the white hats made it really obvious. Netanyahu was at a podium speaking. There was a Zoom close up on the media channel showing him. His face mask looked like it had been chopped with scissors around the neck, and there was a good 2 inches difference between the chopped, like there were scissored edges of the hyperskin face mask and the 2 inches of the neck skin of the actor that was wearing that Benjamin Netanyahu hyper realistic face mask. And then the rounded collar of his shirt. It was so obvious and crazy, and it was so funny. But I found this great photo. Let's see, I think I'll try to put it on this clip so you can see it. From April, last month, when Netanyahu 3.0 was meeting with President Trump, and they were sitting side by side. And Netanyahu, and this is pretty funny for people that know, and if you don't know, I'll tell you why Israel agreed to, it was like, okay, 17% tariff from the U.S. 17 is the 17th letter of the alphabet, which is Q. If you don't know about Q, the most advanced military intelligence ever, and it's not just human, it's white hats. And part of the white hat team, they are also including extraterrestrials and off-world beings along with their technology. Q is also the most incredible quantum computer. You need to look into that for yourself. I can't go down a deep rabbit hole in this clip with that, but it's pretty funny when you see that. It's pretty laughable. So Q, 17 was in prominence there, and President Trump in that meeting sitting next to the Benjamin Netanyahu 3.0 had his hands, as he often does, in a point. It's called tip of the spear, spear of destiny, pointing down to the floor. He's signaling, he's letting people know that Netanyahu is under white hat control. And if you look at the official emblem for the United States Space Force, you see that spear. It's the spear of destiny. It's the tip of the spear. It's everything underscoring in a very large way that the white hats are doing the great cleanup of this earth realm, of the satanic, pedivore, corrupt, thieving, just hideous beings that, like I've said before, you can call them Khazarian Mafia, you can call them Illuminati, you can call them infiltrated Freemasons, Jesuits, the 13 satanic papal royal bloodline families, yes, connected to the Vatican that ruled out of Venice and Rome. And Khazarian Mafia is also known by another term as fake JEWSs, because the real JEWSs are really Hebrew. The fake ones, and go in my controller series on YouTube and listen to this more lengthy description of this bloodline, but ostensibly they're Canaanites. They came out of Cain, and they are seed of the serpent, beings, not exactly human. And they infiltrated, they came out of, this has been going on for so long, but you first saw them, we know them as the Phoenicians of the Phoenician city-states with their incredible navy, which they were the only ones that could have that at that time because they had control of the cedar wood coming from Lebanon. No one else had that to build these great ships. Like if you look at Egypt, ancient Egypt at that time, they just had these little flotillas, those little barges that can go up and down the Nile. They didn't have the proper wood or whatever to build a navy, but the Phoenicians had it, and they were the first pirates, and they're completely satanic, and they went around doing all their, evil, conquering and destroying, raping, and pillaging and thieving and everything else. And then those Phoenicians, ancient Phoenicians, became the Venetians, out of Venice. And if you look at Venice, Italy, it's shaped like a boat on the water, and it's pointing towards Rome. And these ancient Canaanite Phoenicians that became Venetians, It's the that's where the 13 satanic papal bloodline ruling families uh, uh, basically stayed, as well as Rome, because Rome never fell. The evil that was Rome, that came from these, let me make it really simple. From the ancient Venetians, then they infiltrated and went into ancient Sumer and Babylon. And then they went from there, because they're always getting kicked out wherever they were. They had all the wealth because they stole everything, and they were satanic royals, but they kept getting kicked out because of their satanic practices. You can't keep doing all your pedophile, pedivore, thieving, stealing, robbing activities without the people of areas finally, even if it takes hundreds of years, getting fed up and saying, get out. So after ancient Sumer, they went into ancient Babylon, and then from there they went into ancient Egypt, and then went into ancient Rome. This is the same Canaanite satanic seed of the serpent bloodline that were the Roman Caesars and the corrupted Egyptian pharaohs. You know, all the pharaohs marrying their sisters, you know, all the incestuous bloodlines there, and infiltrating in the high priest caste and all that stuff. And then from ancient Rome, which never fell, by the way, our history is a lie, went in, it infiltrated the rest of Europe and was in Asia and Africa, went all over the place. And we're in the great stages of the great cleanup, the great scouring of this earth realm of these satanic, they call themselves elite controllers. And why I'm saying this is because, so Netanyahu, which I just said on a clip, I think just yesterday, showing, for example, just giving an example that he has the middle name Milikowski, which is the same name, if you look back to the original Javier Milei of Argentina, the original one, not the 2.0 that's being a face mask being played by a white hat actor, which is seems pretty much like it is Robin Williams. Yes, tons of the Satanic Hollywood, which was originally called Babylon, out of New York and then went into Los Angeles. It's always been satanic. It's always been about brainwashing, MK Ultra, controlling the masses, bread and circuses, but beyond that, more sinister, bending us and warping our minds and our belief systems to their satanic evil agenda. And many of the A-list actors and also musicians and stuff that just couldn't take being part of that, having to play along with that satanic cabal, or maybe they did sign contracts that then they regretted and being asked to do more and more satanic things. So they went into what's called Gone with the Wind program. That's WITSEC, Witness Protection. And many of the people that you think are unalive are actually alive, and vice versa. So there's much good news coming when people like Whitney Houston or Elvis or Michael Jackson step forward and you find out that they're alive. It will be a joyous celebration. Anyway, so what I want to say about, I keep sidetracking myself. If you don't know that the state of Israel was formed because of the Balfour Declaration, the Balfour Declaration it was issued on November 2nd, 1917, and it was between the satanic crown of England, specifically out of City of London, which is I'm talking about the financial area. City of London has its own, it's a city-state, just like Vatican City is, just like Washington, D.C. was. They all three have their own laws, their own mayors. Their Washington, D.C., for example, was never a part of Maryland or the United States of America. District of Columbia, hello. Foreign invasion on American land. Vatican City was never part of Rome or Italy. It was just a rotten, satanic city-state. City of London, same thing, never part of the actual London or England. But these three places in the world were the triangle of that was used to filter the satanic power and the dark forces to subjugate, corrupt, and to ruin humanity. What DC, my American military, was used to further the satanic elite controllers' aims and their empire building. City of London was the financial center for the Earth realm, and Vatican City was the spiritual, yes, for spiritual, read purely satanic, pedivore, pedophilic center controlling on the earth realm. So it's not, the state of Israel was created by these evils, by the, between the then Foreign Secretary Arthur Balfour out of Britain, their puppet, and the Khazaria Mafia, fake JEW, satanic Lionel Walter Rothschild. And the whole purpose of it was just to strip the Palestinians, who are the real Israelites, who have an actual covenant with God for their land rights of their land, and create this state of Israel that was going to just be a Khazaria Mafia, huge, hideous playground. And saying that, though, like I said in a clip yesterday, you have to separate. All of our governments were so satanic and corrupt. This is we the people of each country is not the same as the satanic government, even though many might have gone along it or been bribed to go along or were corrupted by it, whatever. I'm talking about the heart of we the people all across this earth realm. And people, to understand what's going on, you have to understand that. You have to understand that. So, Benjamin Netanyahu was not the boss. He had to answer to his satanic elite, Crown of London, Crown of England, bosses that give the commands to be followed. So he was puppeted like everyone else, just had a higher level in the puppetry. But he's not around. He's a goner. Crimes of humanity and treason. That's why he's called a 3.0. So who's fighting now that we see many of the heads of this controlling satanic elite have been taken out by the white hats. They've been taken out. They're not walking around. And they get capital punishment for capital crimes. Across the earth realm, this has happened. So, but the minions, the huge forces of these satanic minions, it was so huge in number, and many of them don't know that their bosses are gone, because they just, like in any mafia, get the orders coming down from the top, and it goes down to each level, down to the very bottom of the foot soldiers that carry out, the roughest of the orders. And who's fighting is still the Khazaria Mafia, or the satanic elite, coming out of British royals, and Western royalty was infiltrated by the satanics and taken over in the 1600s. Yeah. And I want to go, there's so many tangents. Everything I say leads to another rabbit hole. But if you don't know that the Windsors, that's a made up fake name that they took to hide the fact around the time of World War I that they were Saxe, Coburg und Gotha, Germanic, and also related to Vlad the Impaler, which Prince Charles, when he was still alive, and he hasn't been for several years, along with Queenie Elizabeth, they're not around, but he used to just brag about their ancestry to Vlad the Impaler, who you might know as Dracul or Dracula, was a real character. And these are the character of these beings. They're not exactly human. They're humanoid at best, but seed of the serpent beings. And they actually don't have and haven't had. They've just been imposters, taking the British crown and, living in Buckingham Palace, Windsor Palace, Balmoral, taking all the lands and the monies. They just took it over. It's not theirs. And you'll find out, I don't think it'd be too much longer when the real... you find out that Princess Diana is alive. She really is queen. She really is queen of that area through her Spencer line, the real royalty, not the fake royalty of the Windsors, the imposters. And there's so much of that to come out, and I'm not going to go into that right now, but there's much good news coming, much good news. So, let's see, what did I want to say? Okay. Oh yeah, regarding, like, I just saw today that was in the news saying that Israel has attacked Gaza again, saying, "Oh, we'll never stop until we get rid of Hamas." But surely you must know, if you don't know, you must know that Hamas was created by Mossad. And once again, that leads back to the same thing as MI6, and who they report to are the same crown, the British crown, the same satanic elites that have been in league with the Rothschilds, controlling the world's financial system, the SWIFT system, the corrupt fiat currency system that on the earth realm we're purging ourselves of and from. But that whole thing that happened in October, that hideous invasion and massacre by Hamas into Israel, talk to some people that you might know. I'm in America, I'm sure, why not? You have many connections, many people do, to the Israelis that were living there at the time and were so shocked when their own state turned against them. Yeah, Israel let Hamas in. They did. Why do you think the Iron Dome somehow wasn't working? They let them. Many people, I mean, they're in shock. They can't believe that their own, what they thought was their own country, their own ally, their own state, was actually the ones letting them get unalived in vicious ways and all of that. So just know it's the Khazarian Mafia, the Satanics, still fighting, that are doing this stuff, even though they don't have the same leadership, or even though many of the puppets have been, like Netanyahu, have been taken care of and replaced. But they're still fighting. We're still in the battle. We're still in the battle between good and evil on the earth realm and in the cosmos. It's the biggest battle ever for the souls of humanity, for so many things. It's never happened before like this. And there's so much good coming in, and there's so much good happening right now, but there's a big mess to clean up, and that's what's happening. Let's see. Then I went to say, oh yeah, in terms of, this is just an aside, but do you remember Prime Minister Golda Meir of Israel? Well, that was a biological male. That was what they call a Baphomet, the Satanics worship, where you're below the belt, you've got your male tackle, if you know what I'm saying, your male undercarriage, you keep that, but above the waist you look like a biological female, even though Golda Meir really never looked much like a biological female. But that person was Khazarian Mafia, was what we call a fake JEW, not really a real Hebrew, and was very evil. So all this hero worship of these evils, needs to be, have a line drawn through it, and the real character of these evils needs to be shown. So General Sherman's remarks about Marco Rubio, I believe he's pointing out, look closer. That's really what I believe he's doing, because I've spoken of it in clips on my YouTube channel a lot, especially in the Controller series or my Real series. But I think I'm going to have to make another clip and give you more details, because people are just too confused about this. Virtually everyone that's been what's called President Trump's appointees, all these people the originals of these people, as I've said, are called 1.0s, were evil. If you look into what they were doing on the earth, the companies they owned, the pedophilia they were caught in doing, the petavorism, the stuff with Adreno, which after that put the word Chrome after that. If you don't know about that, look into it for yourself. They were all caught with all these things. So these are not the 1.0s. I have to really go down this and expose why. There's many reasons why these white hat actors wearing hyperskin face masks with voice box technology are posing as JD Vance, are posing as Kash Patel, are posing as Tulsi Gabbard, are posing as Pam Bondi, are posing as Marco Rubio, are posing as gosh, now I'm forgetting the name of the guy who's in charge of the military forces. they are all wearing face masks. Now, many people, luckily, especially Pam Bondi, has been caught in these weird lights, and they say, why does Pam Bondi's face look like papier-mâché? Yeah, it's like a crinkly mask on her. It's pretty funny. And I do believe, and it's been said, and I think this is probably true, even though, of course, definitively, I can't prove it, but I feel that it's true, that Pam Bondi is being played by Carolyn Kennedy. Yes. So when General Sherman spoke about Marco Rubio taking $1 million from AIPAC, that was Marco Rubio 1.0, and you can believe he's been taken care of. Not the white hat face mask wearing Marco Rubio, Secretary of State now. Also, I want to show you guys so many pictures, but I just can't. I just can't put them on my YouTube series like this. I can't do it, but I want to. Just recently, the other day, there's showing very funny, like I've spoken about much of the time, Elon Musk 1.0 is not around. He is a goner. He and the biological male satanic Baphomet called his mother May, they were taken care of at the same time. Elon Musk 1.0 was from a generational satanic, quote unquote, elite bloodline, very evil, globalist, New World Order, eugenist family, bloodline, seed of the serpent. You think you can ever explain Neuralink as something good to chip the humans' brains, make them even more obviously part robot, part human, and controllable and biddable? And no. N-O. N-O. There's a great picture that I took just the other day. It shows President Trump, and President Trump is, 6'2", 6'3". He's not short. But somehow when all of a sudden Elon Musk 2.0 popped up and was standing in a close huddle with Prince Mohammed bin Salman and President Trump the other day, and Elon Musk looks like he's like a foot taller almost, or almost not a foot taller, but like 8 inches or something, or 7 inches at least taller than President Trump, even though he's like kind of slouching over. Look up the original Elon Musk 1.0. Go back several years and look at his photos and compare them now to the face mask that Elon Musk wears. That will show you enough, but also that the Elon Musk 2.0 has for several years now been showing up with obvious face mask demarcation lines, like 3 inches or more, like really obvious, wearing a really short edge of the face mask on national interviews, whatever. And it's like, how many people are not seeing that? It's crazy. Or the difference in their faces from Elon Musk 1.0 or 2.0. Yeah, Elon Musk, like, because of President Trump's executive orders, anyone engaged in treason or crimes against humanity would have all of their assets, all their monies, all their property stripped. Just like what happened with Jack Dorsey, who was picked up and was a satanic pedophile, evil, disgusting. Anyway, X has never belonged to Elon Musk. All of this went back to we the people, going back to the White Hat's control of the national treasury. There's so much money because it's been stripped from the evils. You can't believe it. And so it's kind of laughable when you see these deluded, crazy, leftist, thanks, confirmation. I love that. I'm on a partial open air outdoor terrace, and whenever I do these readings and these recordings and I get confirmations like that, like sirens or whatever, that honking, that was just a direct confirmation. Thank you, life, for giving that to me. I'll take it. Anyway, Elon Musk 2.0 doesn't own Tesla, doesn't own X, that belongs to we the people. So it's so crazy that these deluded, insane people are going around doing what they do to Tesla dealerships or to individual owners that have Teslas on the street or whatever, thinking they're protesting against President Trump's administration when Elon Musk doesn't exist. And looking at this photo especially, it was such a good one that I'm talking about with Elon 2.0 with Prince bin Salman and President Trump the other day in Riyadh at the summit. From the back, it's such a great shot. You can really see it's been posited, and I do believe this is true, that Elon Musk 2.0 is being played by Christopher Reeves. Just like what Q said, what makes a great movie? Great actors. There's so many incredible white hat actors with hyperskin face masks and voice modulation playing the roles of this great show that's all apart. For example, let me say this to you. For when General Sherman just talked about Marco Rubio and saying, oh, he took $1 million from AIPAC, whatever. Do you know what honey it is to catch the remaining flies that are around of the minions that don't know, for example, that some former evils are wearing face masks and that are actually good guy white hat actors, male and female, and they will be drawn into trying to tell them secrets or give them money or try to say, help me, I need help from what's going on, please protect me, my cabal brother, my Illuminati sister, or whatever. And they don't know that they're talking to an actual white hat. It's a great, one way I can think of, it's a great way to get even more secrets unveiled and more connections revealed and more things like that. This is way above 5D chess. But I also believe it's also protecting, because of these, like I said, these 1.0s that were bad men and women that are gone, whether they got capital punishment or they have lifetime prison sentences for what they did. The identities of the actual good guy, good girl, white hat, male and female actors that are playing these roles, their identity is kept hidden. So when this is over, it's not like they will be forever followed or marked, whatever, by whatever deludeds remain around that try to get revenge on people, and they're so insane, and whatever they do, they won't be able to be followed or, have these marks on them and their families, because you don't know who they are, for the most part. And I'm sure there's much more to that. Anyway, I've talked so much on this clip, I didn't plan to go into that much detail, but there you go. Okay, I'm ending this now. Thank you for listening. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. And I think I do have to do a more detailed description of the doubles and face masks in terms of giving, Hegseth, that's whose name I forgot, Pete Hegseth, going into like what Pete Hegseth 1.0's real identity was, Pam Bondi, Kash Patel, like I said, blah, 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 including Elon Musk, including J.D. Vance and his wife, Usha, yes, it's pretty interesting stuff. So much good is happening. I like to end all of my clips with a closing prayer in Sanskrit and Telugu, and what I'm saying is, God bless all beings in all worlds. Om Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Yes, peace, peace, peace. Peace, peace, peace. I love it. I'm sending much love to you and yours. God bless you and yours. Big hugs, big hugs. I'll see you when I see you. Bye-bye for now.